welcome back to my channel. I've come on today to show you this beautiful little prize that I won off a hidden giveaway that Woolly Steph had on her channel, and it was to win one of the blocks, the foam blocks that you can use for sort of stamping. She had 3 to give away and I was one of the lucky winners to actually win one of the foam blocks, and it came just in the post the other day. This beautiful card. Now this is actually using one of the images that Steph got using the key. Life is a journey and only you hold the key. That's a beautiful stamp. And then there's the lock there. Beautiful colour as well. It's got a lovely handmade with love by Woolly Steph on the back. And it was in this really funny envelope with the gorilla on there. So thank you, Steph, for that. And I've still got this wrapped, so I haven't opened it. And I really like the paper. So I'm wondering if I can maybe open it without damaging the paper too much, and I could actually do something with the paper. Let's see if I can get into it. So it's a little grey foam block. I'll try and get out. There we go. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it. I think Steph said to be from between 10 and 15 seconds with the heat gun. And then what you do is you press something into it that's going to leave an impression. So I've dug out my box of embossing folders. Now, I look through these and I haven't really got that many that I really want to use. I think possibly to start with, let's just have a look. I might try this one. It came with my Gemini die cutting machine, and it's one of the 3D ones. So it's got a really good deep sort of impression in there, so that might be really good on the block. So I think I might try that one first. Let me just move those to the side. So what else am I going to need? So I'm going to need some white card to do the impression onto. And which side do I want? Because you can obviously do it either side and you get 2 different impressions. So what I'm going to do is I'll press it on there and then I'll ink it up. So I've got some inks here as well. You can see them in the camera. I've got some vintage photo, I've got picked raspberry, mowed lawn, chipped sapphire and seedless preserve. So those are all the distress inks. I've got some water, because Steph did say to spritz the block with water as well. Right, so what I need to do first is bring in my heat gun, which is a bit noisy, so I'll maybe turn the sound down a little bit. Because once I noticed Steph did this really quickly, once I've heated this up and got it warm, I need to be quick and press it down really hard on there. So I'm going to heat it now for about 10 to 15 seconds. Quickly press it down. I'm standing up to do this. Try and get as much pressure down as I can. Okay, now the moment of truth. So there we go. So we've got the impression of the embossing folder. So now I'm going to use some of the seedless preserve. Circular motions on the top there, and then on the bottom I'll use the chipped sapphire. Like that. spritz it. I'll spritz it off camera because I think Steph did it quite far away. And then I'm going to put it down onto there. Wow. So I splodged a bit of water there, a bit too much water. Just give it one more spritz. I'll see if I can get another one out of it. I like that, that's really good. It's a slightly fainter one, but still really good as well. So then I'm just going to clean it. Wipes. So I think I'll stick to using the Distress Oxides, because I think all of my other inks will probably struggle to come off the actual block. See, that's come off really well there. It's gone back to being the grey block. So that's our first attempt. So now I'm going to see if I can find a different embossing folder. I quite like this one. I'm always drawn to this one with the stamps, and this was a Hobbycraft one. So if we have a look at this, so you can see I've used this before with some, probably the vintage photo. So if I used that side, the background I think would be inked, and this side it would be the writing that would be inked. So let's give this a go. So I'm going to heat the block again, so that will get rid of this impression, ready for me to press it down onto here. Okay, I tend to panic a little bit once I've stopped the heat gun, getting it to the embossing fold. I know you've got to be quick. So, right, let's have a look. Oh wow, yes, that's brilliant. Right, so bring the little card back in and we'll go on this side. I'm always drawn to the vintage photo for these stamp embossing folder. I think I'll maybe just do the whole thing brown. And then again I'll spritz it at a distance. See what we get this time. This will make a really good background for ATC. If this one works. Oh yes, look at that. Really impressed with that. I can see why Steph was having so much fun with it. That's brilliant. Oh, wonderful. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I think what I'll do now is I'll have a bit more of a play off camera, and then I'll come back and show you everything that I've made at the end. Right, I thought I'd come back and show you some of the little bits and pieces that I've made with the foam block. That was the first two. A little bit too much water maybe on a few of them. These came out really well. I found that the darker the ink, the better impression that you actually get with the stamping. That one came out quite nice. I used 3 colours on that one. This one I kind of went over it again. It's made quite an interesting effect on that one. I tend to do the 2. I do the first stamping and then I get a second generation one as well, just with adding a little bit more water. Again, there's droplets of water, but I don't mind those. They add to it, I think. I got 2 colours out of that one, 2 prints out of that one. These were the paler ones. As I said, the darker the ink, the better it comes out, I do feel. That was a couple of different colours on there. I've just done one of that one, and then I've got a few of these as well. Then I moved on from the embossing folders, and I had a couple of these metal embellishments. There was a flower and a butterfly. I just very quickly tried that. I mean, I probably, to do it again, I would just have the one embellishment on, but I just sort of squeezed them both on just to see what would happen, and I could see that working as well. And for a background, that's quite, I'm quite impressed with that. So far all I've done is cut them down, and then the one that was the stamps and things, I've actually, because I got the 2 prints out of that one, I've turned one into an ATC, and then so I've cut that down slightly. As you can see, that's like the full size. I've kept one of them the full size, and I've just made a little card which I plan to embellish. I quite like the time flies words, and I just need to add maybe some more stamps and things. But that was the ATC that was finished. I've just got destination on there, and I've stuck some, there's a real stamp, but those ones are just 4 stamps. A little bit of script in the background and a couple of stamps there, inked stamps on the top there. Edged it with the vintage photo, and it was obviously printed with the vintage photo as well. So I'm quite pleased with how that background looks. I'll definitely use that embossing folder again. I think it's it works quite well. So again, thank you so much, Steph, for sending me this foam block. I'm very lucky to have been one of the 3 winners. And I'll leave a link to Steph's channel down below. I'll leave a link to the video where she shows her having a play with the block as well, and she comes out with some great results. So thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.